I work in influence marketing, and here are some of the most outrageous rates I've been seeing. It's the middle tier influencers that have between 100 and 300,000 followers who are serving me the most hilarious rates. And so I'll talk you through a few examples and let me know what you think, because I know there's a lot of talk on here about how we don't trust influencers anymore and how we don't like them. And so I've been really looking at engagement rate and looking at how loyal the community is to that influencer. I'm not really looking at follower count anymore as much. I'm looking at engagement rate and engagement on stories and analytics and demographics and locations and things like that to make a more educated decision on who we work with. So let's get into it. Influencer number 1 has 125,000 followers. She has an engagement rate of 2.8%. So that's pretty good. The average engagement rate is between 1 to 3%. But because it's so competitive now and because there's a lack of trust and there's a bit of a shift happening in the industry, I'm really looking at engagement rate. So I really think that anything above 2% is good. Anything below is weak. And if you can get to 3 or 5 or 8 or 12%, I'm like, okay, there's something going on here in terms of the chokehold that this influencer has over their audience. So this person came back and said for one reel and one story set, it's $7,000. And that is a lot for someone with under 150,000, even under like 250,000 followers. Like that's a lot. For example, someone with 450,000 followers who are talking, we're doing one set of Instagram stories for $2,000. And she's a scientist, author, speaker. She is an authority in that space. She's written a successful book. Like if we want to get a message across from a credible source, this author is going to be the person we do it. And that rate is amazing. And the reason that this person came down on their rate is because the brand alignment's there. There's a long-term partnership that we could potentially move into if this is successful. And it's obviously a nice marriage between the brand and the talent. It's really complementary to both parties. So when I get these rates of like $7,000 or really high rates, I call it the FU rate, where it's like, I don't really want to work with you, so I'm going to give you my top rate. That's fine. It's always good to have that. And I think people should have high rates so that they don't work with every single brand that comes through. Going on to the next influencer, number 2. She has 207,000 followers on Instagram, but she is an OG influencer. She has 2.3 million subscribers on YouTube, and she has a really engaged following on YouTube. She can't afford her YouTube. Her YouTube is $25,000 per video. She said, look, our budget's $5,000. Is there anything we can do to test our partnership together? Her management said, well, if you're $5,000, can we get it to $7,000 for one set of stories? And then we can take it to the influencer. So the management team don't even present it to the influencer unless it's like within a range. I guess like that's their job. That's what they've been briefed at. But I also think that sometimes the management can get in the way of a really nice partnership and if the influencer is excited about it. So for this, we honestly just pass. I feel like she's in the way too expensive basket. Next influencer, number 3, has 330,000 followers. Now she has a famous husband who is a DJ, and her rates were just so expensive. And we got her media kit and it came in with one Instagram story set for $6,000. Not including the agency fee and not including tax. And by the way, all these rates don't include usage or don't include exclusivity. A normal reel story set combo would be around $16,000. Dropping $16,000 for something that you don't know is going to perform is a lot when you're also working with a lot of different influencers. Like that's really just saying we're going to put all our eggs in one basket, like how we would a big billboard or how we would a TV ad. The last one, influencer number 4, has 439,000 followers. She also has a podcast and a YouTube channel, and she's very active and she has a loyal and engaged community. She's been sharing a lot of her life and her content, and her storytelling is excellent. And for a reel and a story set, that combo is $10,000. So you just never know what you're going to get back. And so yes, I'm obviously going to negotiate being on the brand side for every single person, because we're just getting this range of rates that don't make any sense to us. There's no kind of industry standard. It's really case by case, and knowing that influencers haven't been doing that well and we're kind of sick of everything they're selling, I'm just curious to see if it is still worth the investment.